Hello everyone and welcome back to my video series on programming with modern FORTRAN. So in this video we are going to be looking at all about implicit none. Okay, I guess if you've gone through some materials and you must have been seeing implicit none and the rest of that, maybe you don't really understand why they have implicit none there and why is it that I've not been using implicit none in my program so far and it's still working fine. So that's what I'm going to explain in this video. Now, if you recall, when you write programs, and then you say, okay, you have a variable. When we're given rules in naming variables, we said there is a default data type that has been assigned to variables based on what that variable starts with. Okay, we said for a variable that starts with letters between I and n, that by default the variable name is the variable type is an integer, the data type is an integer. When we start with some other values other than I and n, I to n, then the data type is by default a real number. That means a number with decimal parts. And that's what's been going on so far. But what if you want a variable name to start with something between I and n, and yet you want it to be real, or you want it to start with something other than I to n, and yet you want it to be integer? How can you go ahead to do that? Okay, let's see what we mean by that. So move down to our IDE, which is Plateau as usual. This is the program we'll go to in the last section. So I'm just going to create a new file. Okay, so as usual we have program. So the program name is going to be about implicit none. About implicit none. Implicit none. I can spell that. Okay, so I have end program and about implicit none. So that's what I'm going to call the program. This is my program name. So between the program names, between this stuff, I can start writing my program. So let's say I want to print two numbers. Let's go back with that example. And then I have the first number to be n, and n is 12.7. I have the second number to be m, and m is 10.2. So now I want to sum these two numbers to get my output. So I can have sum equal to n plus m, and then we go ahead to print out the sum. So I have the sum is let's say sum. So if I go ahead to run this, what are you expecting as a result? I know you're going to say you're expecting 22.9 because that's what we should be expecting, because this is 12 plus 10, that's 22. 0.7.2, that will give us 0.9. But see what your program is going to give to you. So let's try to build this, of which we will be asked to save. So I'll save this as implicit. Right? Let's save it as implicit. So let's run this and see. So there's an error. Where is that error coming from? It says error extraneous character. And where is that? I can't find it here. Oh, that's it. End program. I don't have that here. End program, then the program name. So let's go back and build, and I hope that will work out all fine. And I'm still not seeing that. Let's see if we can start one. If there's going to be an error. This label is out of date. Would you like to rebuild? Yes, I would like to rebuild. So I'm still getting an error. They said extraneous character in one line. Okay, now this is okay. end program. My spelling is lovely. Sorry guys, I guess that was the error. Yeah, that was it. Okay, so let's start one and see what the results will give to us. So here we have our result. It said the sum is 22.0000. Why are we getting 22.0000? We're expecting our result to be 22.9 and not 22.0000. So what is actually going on? Let me run it again so that you see what happened. Okay, just in case you didn't see it. So I'm going to zoom this in for you to see the output. So you can see the output 22.0000. Instead of it being 22.9, we are getting 22.0000. So what's actually happening there is this. Variable names, we said it before. Let me still explain that. Variable names that start, I'll put it as a comment. Variable names that start between I and n by default are seen as integer. But if it's not between I and n, between any other alphabet, it's going to be seen as real. So integers are numbers without decimal parts. Reals are numbers with decimal part. These are two basic data types you have in FORTRAN. Now this number I have here starts with an n. It doesn't matter if I make it just n. It doesn't matter if I call it number. It doesn't matter whatever I call it. In as much as it starts with something between I and n, it is automatically seen as an integer. So when you give it 12.7, all it will do is that it will ignore the 0.7 and then make use of just 12, because that's the integer part. Same thing is when you give it 10.2, it will ignore the 0.2 and make use of just the 10, because that's also the integer part. So here it's going to be making use of the integer part. Okay, so when you sum the result, your result is going to be 22. Now you might be wondering, then why is your output 22.0000? Is that's not an integer, that's real. Why is it actually working that way? Now this is why it's working that way. We try to sum these two results, which is now 22, and then the result of 22, we are assigning it to something that starts with s, and s is not between I and n. So for the fact that this thing does not start with something between I and n, is seen as real. So now you're assigning 22 to something that is real. So since this thing that is real is expecting something, a number that is actually real, it will now see, instead of 22, it will see the final result as 22.0000. Okay, so that's what's actually taking place here. So now if you want your final result to actually be 22.9, then all you need to do is to make sure this starts with something not between I and n. So I can say this should be something like A, and I can make this guy to be something like B. Okay, they are not starting between I and n. Then I can make this sum to be A plus B, and this is automatically going to work out fine. So let's run this, and yes, I want to rebuild, and let's see this. So you can see now you're getting your 22.9000 just by changing the variable name. It's taking care of that. But now, should you always care as to what the variable name is starting with? What if you're in a hurry or something, of which you shouldn't be when you're programming? What should you do so that there's always a safeguard as to the data type you're using, so that you'll not be truncating or then adding more zeros or so? What should you be doing? So that's where we have the implicit none. That's where implicit none comes to our rescue. So what implicit none is doing actually is this. It's saying the compiler should ignore the default way of identifying variable type or data types, or rather the compiler should use whatever you're going to give to it. So in this case, you have to tell the compiler that, okay, this variable you have here, treat it as an integer, treat it as real, treat it as a character. Okay, there are different data types, we are going to discuss them later on, but that is what you're trying to tell the compiler here, that you shouldn't use the default way. So if I want to do that, what I can basically do, if I want to use implicit none, I can leave this thing as n, leave this as m, which I know, or which you know too well, that your result here is going to be just 22 instead of 22.000. But now you can go ahead and tell the program that n, m, and sum, that they are not actually integer, they are real. So even if sum is real, you can still tell the program that sum is real and not an integer. So what I have to do is just to start with the keyword, and this should be before any other executable program. Okay, your implicit none. After you've done giving the program a name, then you go to this. So you start with the keyword implicit none. Okay, they are both keywords. Then now you give it after the implicit none, then you can start your declaration section. So what do you want to declare? I want n, m, and sum to be real. So I have to say real column. Okay, then the data, the variables I have there. So I'm saying n, m, and sum should be treated as real. So now if you run a program, you should be expecting your 22.000, 22.90000. So this is the advised way you should actually write your program. Okay, you have implicit none, then you declare all variables. Even if they are real, declare them as real if you want them to be real. Even if they are integer, declare them as integer if you want them to be integer. Okay, just make sure you declare every variable. Now there is no way you can use implicit none and then fail to declare just one variable. That's going to give you an error. So let's try this first and make sure it is working out fine. Then I'll explain, or I'll show you what I'm talking about. So if we run this, let me zoom in so you see our results. You can see we're having the 22.90000 that we weren't able to get initially with this program, just for the fact that we didn't use implicit none, but now we're getting it. Now just imagine I say, okay, sum is already real, so let me not bother to declare sum. Let me just declare n and m as real, since I already know that sum is real, and I try to run this. Let's even try to just build. You can see what I have here. There's an error. We have an error here. So if you zoom in, it's saying error 283, sum must appear in a ty whatever. So what they mean by that is that the sum must appear in your variable declaration, in your declaration section, and we don't have sum in our declaration section. That's basically what they're trying to tell us. So we have to declare sum also, okay, before it can work out. So once you have implicit none, take notes, you've taken extra responsibility. You have to declare all variables. But if you don't have implicit none, you can work with all variables without declaring them, and then it's going to infer it's not infer, okay, infer the data type based on how the variable starts, okay, what the variable starts with. So that's it, guys, for this video. In the next video we are going to be looking at some other concept. We are going to be writing, in fact, some simple programs with what we've learned so far. Okay, we'll just solve some problems and then we'll look at other concepts. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.